My name is Thomas Czerniawski. I'm currently employed by Arizona State University. My educational background includes a PhD in civil engineering from the University of Texas at Austin, a master's degree, and a bachelor's degree from the University of Waterloo, also in civil engineering. So at Arizona State University, I'm an assistant professor. Part of being an assistant professor, I have many responsibilities. I teach, so that involves the creation of course content, and then of course the delivery of course content. And I also do research, so that involves the creation of a lab, hiring graduate students, supervising research, writing research proposals, editing and publishing papers, attending conferences. And then I also have service responsibilities at the university, which includes sitting on committees, organizing conferences, and reviewing papers and proposals. In the morning, I'll typically have meetings that are part of my ongoing networking efforts. As part of my responsibilities, I'm constantly in conversation with potential collaborators, potential students, or just reaching out to experts in my field to get feedback on ideas or input on different projects that I'm working on. And so those morning hours are typically spent on Zoom or on the phone or on email, either brainstorming or doing something more refined. Then I'll probably spend an hour or two preparing course content. So this is taking a look at the material from the last time I offered the class that I'm teaching, either an undergrad or a grad class, seeing how things went last time I offered the course, making updates as necessary, kind of refreshing myself on the content so that I'm ready to answer questions and actually deliver a lecture. Then I'll go and I'll do the lecture. Sometimes it's an hour-long lecture, sometimes it's a 3-hour lecture, depending on how the course is structured. And then I'll have meetings with students. So this is my PhD students that are currently working for me in my lab. They'll update me on their past week's progress. They'll tell me about some of their sticking points, what's causing them problems. I'll give them input as best I can, but of course, the project is their responsibility. And so I have to kind of hold myself back a little bit and not give them the answers, but kind of have them find the answers themselves. And then in the evening, I'll spend that time doing my own writing. So as an early career faculty member, writing proposals and getting funding for research is the most important thing that I have to do. And so I spend probably 4 or 5 hours every day just reading papers for my lit reviews, reading up on funding agencies, what are their missions, what are they funding, reaching out to those program managers with white papers, getting feedback on those, incorporating that feedback into proposals that I'm drafting, writing the proposal, assembling a red team, getting feedback on that proposal, and then submitting, and often, and in most cases, being rejected, dealing with that emotional trauma, and just pushing forward with the next proposal. There are predominantly 2 questions that are asked on any hiring committee. That is, would we enjoy to spend time with this person? That is, when traveling to conferences, when going out into the field for data collection missions, you're going to be spending time with this person that you're going to hire. Am I going to like spending time with this person? That's one question. And frankly, most people in your department, that is going to be the only question they ask. Then the second question is, can this person obtain funding? If they can, great. Nothing else really matters, because getting funding speaks for itself. And so these are the two questions that are asked. And so as an applicant, you have to make it as easy as possible to answer these questions and answer them in the affirmative. Yes, I can get funding. Yes, you'll have a good time spending time with me. So what was my strategy for answering these questions for the hiring committee? You have to go to conferences, because if you don't go to conferences, you don't get FaceTime with people. And if you don't have FaceTime with people, you don't have the opportunity to show them that spending time with you is enjoyable. You have to go to conferences, you have to be pleasant, you have to make people laugh, and that will make you memorable, so that when that question comes up during the hiring process, will I enjoy spending time with this person? Yes, I will, because I have already enjoyed spending time with this person. So going to conferences is a big one. And then the second question, can this person get funding? Very complex question. On the surface, it seems simple, but it's not, because in order to get funding, you need to be an excellent researcher and an excellent salesperson. An excellent researcher can publish in world-class journals. They perform science and research that is rigorous, and in order to sell their research, they have a good understanding of what makes research valuable, and not just valuable in an abstract sense, but valuable in a very concrete sense, as will people pay you to do this research? And then of course there are many others, but those are the primary indicators of someone that can get research funded. The quality of writing, whether you've mentored students before, whether you've written proposals before, all of these things come together in answering this one seemingly simple question. If you cannot convince someone that you can obtain funding, they will not hire you. They won't, because if you can't bring in funding, you are dragging their department down. You are not an asset. You are someone that is just taking their resources and not giving anything in return. Not a good hire. So in grad school, there is, I think, something that most graduate students have to contend with, and that is the relationship with the supervisor, and how hands-on are they in providing guidance, or how absent are they, and then requiring you to be fairly independent and autonomous. And I know that during my PhD, there were times when I wished that someone could just give me the answers to say, apply this tool, or collect this data, or study this question, because this question is valuable. And oftentimes there was no one there to give me that guidance. And it was a constant source of frustration, because I'm like, I'm just a student. Someone should be teaching me. Someone should be guiding me. Now that I'm a faculty member, I am so thankful that no one was there to give me guidance, because once you graduate and you're working on your own research, on your own projects, there's no one here to give you guidance. You know, people will give you a few words here, a few words there, point you in one direction or another direction. But ultimately, it is your responsibility to decide, this is what I'm doing, and this is the direction that I'm going. And if I didn't train that muscle while I was a graduate student, if I had someone spoon feeding me solutions, there is no way I would survive now. And so something that was fairly stressful at the time has now proven to be an incredibly valuable training.